I'm Candy. Today I'm going to show you how you can create your author newsletter on Substack. But before we get into that, let me answer what is no doubt the number one question on your mind. Where the hell have I been? The short answer is, I've been embroiled in life complications due to the pandemic and other factors. Family members with medical issues were the top priority. Between juggling their various doctor appointments with my full-time job, plus serving as an occasional caregiver, plus working from home in the summer in a house with no air conditioning, there was no way I could maintain my video schedule. We finally reached the end of the tunnel in June, and I was determined to get the hype train going for Mark of the Champion. I sent my manuscript to a sensitivity reader, and after incorporating her notes and suggestions, I booked my developmental editor, who is working on the last draft now. I also booked a second sensitivity read, just to be safe. While waiting for my book to return, I decided it was finally time to start my author newsletter. I looked into several email marketing services like MailerLite and TinyLetter, but they all felt confusing and cumbersome to me. With all I have going on in my life, the last thing I need is more complication. Then I saw a video about setting up a newsletter on a site called Substack. Substack is a combination blogging and newsletter platform. It is 100% free to sign up. You can easily import not only your mailing list, but previous blogs from several platforms. Readers from your email list and others not on your list can read all your current and previous posts that you allow them to see. Not only can you import your old blogs, but you can export everything you post in your Substack as well. You also have the option to monetize your newsletter if you want. Substack even lets you create multiple newsletters from one account. Setup is relatively easy, but navigation is a little tricky. I'll walk you through the basics.
Navigate to substack.com. You'll see a Get Started button on the page and a Sign Up button in the upper right corner. Press either button to begin. The first thing you'll see is a Connect with Twitter button. This is optional. If you connect Substack to your Twitter account, it automatically sends your post links to your Twitter feed. Let's skip this for now. Next is the Create Your Account page. Type in your email. It's a good idea to read the publisher agreement before clicking the Agree button. For now, let's say you did. Now it's time to create your publication. When you see this box, the fields will be blank. I'm going to change what's in those fields. I'll type in one of my character names, Tor's newsletter, and below that, I write what Tor's newsletter would be about. Tor is a journalist, so his tagline would be, all the news that slipped through the cracks. On the web URL line, I'll type his full name, torpartellin.substack.com. You can choose whatever name you want for your URL. Once that's done, click Continue. Here's where you import your mailing list if you have one. If you don't want to do that just yet, press Skip. Success! You've completed your setup. You see the big orange button that says, Let's do this? When you click that button, it takes you to a pre-filled email. This email is to tell everyone you know that you have a Substack and urge them to subscribe.
Don't do this. The issue I have with this prefab email is it's pushy. The Subscribe Now button cajoles the reader to subscribe without knowing anything about you. If you use this template, give the reader an idea of what they can expect from your newsletter. This likely doesn't apply if you already have a large mailing list and a dedicated fan base. But there's still a better way to get curious folks to check out your writing.
Every writer on Substack has a dedicated domain with a welcome page. Mine has a banner, the one-line description, and the subscribe button. The email box will be blank for visitors. So when you type in your domain, you'll land on a page that gives the reader two options: subscribe to the newsletter or read previous posts first.
The second option gives your reader the choice to see whether your publication is right for them. Post a link to your welcome page on your social media accounts, and don't be surprised if you gain some new fans.
Now we can start your newsletter. Begin by typing in your domain in the search bar and hit enter. This will take you to the post feed. I've included some examples so you can see what the feed looks like. To make a post, click the dashboard button in the upper right corner. The dashboard contains 4 sections: Posts, Subscribers, Stats, and Settings. When you're ready to write, press the New Post button under Create. The post template appears on screen.
Before we go on, I want to point out the difference between posts and emails. Posts on your feed can also be emailed simultaneously, but emails don't become posts unless you copy and paste the email text into a new post. Substack has several email templates you can customize. However, when you edit an email template, you can't just press a button and send that email to your readers. Substack's email templates are like Word files, where you copy and paste the text from the template into the actual email. I have my welcome email text in a Google Keep note because I find that easier to work with.
Type in the title of your post. You can also add an optional subtitle. Move your cursor below the formatting toolbar and click. Here is where you enter the text of your post. After this small paragraph is completed, let's add a photo. The jump cut is to keep my files private. In the upper right corner of the photo, you'll find a menu option to add a caption to your image.
Now, you need to know some of the drawbacks of using Substack for your newsletter. For one, your post formatting options are limited. You're only allowed one photo, graphic, or GIF per line, and those elements are centered one over the other. Substack does have options for banners, block quotes, bulleted lists, and hyperlinks, but you don't have near the flexibility of an email marketing service. So if you've seen those social media icons at the bottom of someone's newsletter that have hyperlinks for each icon, yeah, you can't do that here.
My workaround is to list each social media platform I'm on and attach the corresponding URLs to each name. Sometimes the space between them needs adjusting and there are no icons, but your reader will know exactly where those links go.
Pro tip, if you want to show more than one photo on a line, make a collage in Photoshop or in a photo editing app on your phone.
When you're ready to post, click the Publish button at the bottom of the screen. This will take you to the publishing page. You have options regarding who can see the posts and who can comment. If you've enabled Twitter, you'll also see the social preview. You can send your post immediately or schedule it for another date and time. Now let's return to the dashboard and click on Subscribers. This is where your email list is. There is also a graph showing the level of activity. I'll scroll down to my email list and demonstrate how to send direct emails. For this example, I'll select my own email from my list. Then I'll click the Email button. This takes me to the email composition screen. I open my Google Keep note for my welcome email text, and then I copy and paste each section into the email template. There's a little more tweaking after that. This link needs to be applied to the word Here. So I cut the link, select Here, press the link button, paste the link into the box, and it's linked. I'll add some bold type here, and it's ready to send to the address I selected.
One important note, and this is not unique to Substack. Some email services like Gmail have filters that prevent your newsletter from reaching your subscribers' primary inbox and instead are moved to the Promotions tab. It's a good idea to follow up with new signups by sending an email from your preferred email address with instructions on how to whitelist your newsletter.
It's time to explore the settings page. You'll type in your publication name and below that a one-line description of what your newsletter's about.
Try to craft a description that will pique your reader's interest. For example, instead of Candy's author newsletter, I wrote The Writing Journey of a Gen X Nerd Girl, because that's my newsletter's theme.
Under Add Tags, you can add a whopping 3 whole tags to help readers find you. Tor's tags include activism and aid, politics, and journalism. Next is the About page. This is what your reader sees when they click About in the drop-down list on your blog. For example, Tor's About page says he's a journalist, he's reported for several well-known newspapers, and he's on Substack to show his readers the deeper story. Once you've entered your text, click Save at the bottom and return to the settings page. Below the About page and the Welcome Email template, you can upload your publication logo or cover photo. Scroll down a little more and you'll find settings for RSS feeds, the Twitter account connection, the post import function, and the Style section, where you can edit your publication theme with color, layout style, and font styles. Right after that is where you import your email list if you haven't already. If you're planning on setting up paid subscriptions, this is where you do it, starting with that big blue button. I believe author newsletters should be free, so I won't be monetizing mine, but you do you. Next you'll see a header that says, Publish Great Things. Ignore that for now and scroll down to Publication Details and fill out the info. This is the example account, so please note I do not live on Market Street in San Francisco. There are several other options under Publication Details. Here's some cool stuff. As I mentioned before, you can add another section to your Substack. You can also host a podcast on any one of your Substacks. The last two sections are a box where you can export posts, your email list and statistics, and the danger zone, if someday you decide to delete your Substack.
And that's it! Those are the basics for setting up your author newsletter on Substack. If you check out Substack and decide it isn't for you, there are several platforms that have similar features, like Ghost, Medium, and Review. If you're not sure where to begin in terms of design or formatting, I will be including an article from Substack on this very issue in the description below. It's never been easier to start your author newsletter. Even if you have to do without some features, there are always workarounds. If you like this video, why not give it a thumbs up? It's absolutely positively 100% free! Don't forget to subscribe and give the bell a jingle so you'll know the moment my next video goes live. And I promise it won't be so long a wait this time. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and Goodreads. You can also go to my website, candyglynnwilder.com, and read the first 8 pages of Chapter 1 of Mark of the Champion. And you can also sign up for my author newsletter on Substack. Bet you didn't see that coming. All the links are listed below. I wish you all the best on your writing journey. And remember, Aunt Fishy believes in you.